Hi guys, today we are going to continue our discussion on NIE LIT Science B exam questions conducted in July 2017. So here we go. The Fourier transform of a double-sided exponential function e raised to minus 1 by 2 mod t is. Four options are given. Option A 2 by 1 plus 4 omega square. Option B 1 plus 4 omega square by 4. Option C 1 plus 4 omega square by 2. And option D 4 by 1 plus 4 omega square. Let us first focus on the function. Here we are asked to find out Fourier transform of x of t is equal to e raised to minus 1 by 2 mod t. As you know, mod t can be expressed as plus t for t greater than 0 and minus t for t less than 0. Correspondingly, we can write x of t as e raised to minus 1 by 2 t for t greater than 0 and e raised to 1 by 2 t for t less than 0. Fourier transform of a continuous time signal x of t can be written as integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e raised to minus j omega t dt, which can be expressed as integral minus infinity to 0 x of t e raised to minus j omega t dt plus integral 0 to infinity x of t e raised to minus j omega t dt. Now tell me, what is the expression for x of t over the interval minus infinity to 0? It is e raised to 1 by 2t. And what about 0 to infinity? It is e raised to minus 1 by 2t. So when we substitute these values, we get Fourier transform of x of t is equal to integral minus infinity to 0 e raised to 1 by 2t e raised to minus j omega t dt plus integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus 1 by 2t e raised to minus j omega t dt. It can be rearranged as integral minus infinity to 0 e raised to 1 by 2 minus j omega into t dt plus integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus 1 by 2 minus j omega into t dt. Got it? Next we are going to perform integration. So we get Fourier transform of x of t as e raised to 1 by 2 minus j omega into t divided by 1 by 2 minus j omega over the interval minus infinity to 0 and plus e raised to minus 1 by 2 plus j omega into t by minus 1 by 2 minus j omega over the interval 0 to infinity. When we apply lower and upper limits, we get 1 by 2 minus j omega minus e raised to minus infinity plus e raised to minus infinity plus 1 by 2 plus j omega. As you know, the value of e raised to minus infinity is 0. Hence, we get Fourier transform of x of t as 4 by 1 plus 4 omega square. That is, our answer is option D. Got it? Moving on to next question. The impulse response h of n of a linear time invariant system is given by h of n is equal to u of n plus 3 plus u of n minus 2 minus 2u of n minus 7. The above system is, 4 options are given. Option A, stable but not causal. Option B, stable and causal. Option C, causal but unstable. And option D, unstable but not causal. So here we are given with impulse response of a linear time invariant system. We have to find out whether that system is causal or not and stable or not. Let us first find out whether it is a causal or not causal. For a causal system, output depends only on present and past values of input, that is not on future input. Hence, its impulse response h of k should be 0 for k less than 0. Okay? So next what we are going to do is we are going to plot impulse response of our desired system, and based on that determine whether it is causal or not causal. h of n is given in question as u of n plus 3 plus u of n minus 2 minus 2u of n minus 7, where u of n is the unit step sequence which is having a constant value 1 for n greater than or equal to 0, and it is defined as 0 for n less than 0. When we shift u of n to left by 3 units, we get u of n plus 3 like this. You can see it is having a constant value 1 for n equal to minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, etc. up to infinity, and it is defined as 0 for n less than minus 3. On the other hand, when we shift u of n to right by 2 units, we get u of n minus 2 like this. It is having a constant value 1 for n greater than 2, and it is 0 for n less than 2. Then when we shift u of n to right by 7 units, we get u of n minus 7 like this. You can see it has a constant value 1 for n greater than 7, and it is 0 for n less than 7. When we multiply this u of n minus 7 with a constant 2, we get 2 into u of n minus 7 like this. It has a constant amplitude 2 for n greater than or equal to 7, and it is 0 for n less than 7. Finally, we get our desired impulse response h of n, that is u of n plus 3 plus u of n minus 2 minus 2u of n minus 7 like this. You can see it has non-zero value only for the time interval n equal to minus 3 to 6. From minus 3 to 1, its amplitude is 1, and from 2 to 6, it is 2. Now tell me whether it is a causal system or not. Look at this portion. You can see the impulse response has got non-zero values for n less than 0. So we can conclude that it is a non-causal system. Clear? Next, we are going to find out whether this system is stable or not. For a stable system, the impulse response h of n should be absolutely summable. That is, sigma k equal to minus infinity to infinity mod h of k should be less than infinity. This is our h of n. From this, it is clear that it is absolutely summable. Hence, it is a stable system. So we get our system is stable but not causal. That is option A. Alright? Let us move ahead and see next question. The Thevenin's impedance setting between the nodes P and Q in the circuit is. You can see the network here. 4 options are given. Option A 1, option B 1 plus S plus 1 by S, Option C 2 plus s plus 1 pi s, and option D s square plus s plus 1 pi s square plus 2s plus 1. A capacitor with the value C farad in time domain is equivalent to an impedance 1 by SZ in S domain. On the other hand, an inductor with the value L Henry in time domain is equivalent to an impedance with the value SL in S domain. Finally, a R ohm resistor in time domain is equivalent to an impedance R in S domain. Got it? So this is the S domain equivalent circuit. You can see the inductor is replaced with an impedance 1s and the capacitor with an impedance 1 by s and the resistors 1 ohm and 1 ohm. Here we are asked to find out Thevenin equivalent impedance between terminals P and Q. In fact, when we find Thevenin equivalent impedance across two terminals in a network, we are supposed to replace all independent voltage sources in the network with the short circuits and all independent current sources with open circuits. You can see a 1 ampere current source here. It should be replaced with a open circuit, and a 10 volt voltage source, it should be replaced with a short circuit. So we get a network like this, and when we look from terminals PQ, this 1s impedance and this 1 ohm impedance are connected in series, and this 1 by s impedance and this 1 ohm impedance are also connected in series, and these two series combinations are parallel connected. So we can write the Thevenin equivalent impedance as 1 s plus 1 parallel 1 by s plus 1, that is equal to s plus 1 into 1 by s plus 1 divided by s plus 1 plus 1 by s plus 1, and when we simplify this we get the result as 1, that is option A. Thank you.